Hey guys, welcome to subscriber wishlist Mass Effect Talks. This is our first one. This is going to be on Commander Shepard. This is supposed to be out last week, but I wasn't able to get it up. So I'm pushing to get it out right now, or today, at least the first few parts. I've been running around like crazy, so let's get this started. So what can I say about Shepard that we don't already know? Pretty much, Shepard is created by us. There is no real set background for Shepard. There are only a few things about Shepard that are set that we can't change. I mean, we could choose Shepard's gender. If he's male, he's voiced by Mark Meer, and if she's female, then she's voiced by Jennifer Hale. The male Shepard is the only one that actually has a model to him, and by that I mean a person modeling for Shepard. The female Shepard doesn't have a model. You could pretty much recreate the default female Shepard in the customization thing, character customization, because there's nothing special about her. The male Shepard, on the other hand, you can't recreate him because he is based off an actual person. This person is a Dutch model. His name is Mark Vanderloo. Not sure if you guys have seen him, but if you haven't, I would recommend Googling him because it's pretty crazy. He looks just like Shepard. It's pretty crazy. If I found him out in the street, I'd latch onto his leg or something. I think some of you may have heard this, that Shepard was named after an astronaut. An American astronaut. His name is Alan Bartlett Shepard Jr. He was the second person and the first American in space in May 5th of 1961. And Shepard's birthday is actually April 11th. And that was the same day that Apollo 13 attempted to land on the moon, but it ended in a disaster and all that. In Mass Effect 1, Shepard was 29 years old, and he's technically still 29 in Mass Effect 2 because he had died. And he didn't really age. He was just brought back to life the way that he was left. Chronologically, he's 31 years old. Like saying he was born from now to when he was born, he's 31. But biologically, he's still pretty much 29 because he didn't actually age. The default name for male and female Shepard is John Shepard and Jane Shepard, and these names, as you might have already guessed, are the names that are used for unidentified males and females, as John Doe and Jane Doe. So they tried to keep it as neutral as possible. But when it comes to everything else, you could pretty much change it. You could change the way he looks, she looks, his or her class. You could change background, personality, everything. But by default, Shepard is a soldier, Earthborn sole survivor. So Shepard was born on April 11th, 2154. He graduated from the Systems Alliance N7 Special Forces. And in Mass Effect 1, he's assigned to the Normandy, the SSV Normandy, which is captained by Captain Anderson at that time. And Shepard is made the executive officer, or the XO, of the Normandy. And then later on, Shepard becomes a Spectre. And Shepard's title is, he's a lieutenant commander. So before I go into some Shepard theories, I want to just briefly go over the pre-service history that's available in Mass Effect. There's the Spacer. My original Shepard was a Spacer, and I actually like that pre-service history, especially because you get to talk to your mother in that special, what do they call it? In the background assignments. Depending on what background you chose, you get a special background assignment. And the Spacer one is one of my favorites because you get to talk to your mom. But basically, the Spacer background is that both of your parents are in the Alliance military. Your childhood was spent from ship to ship, moving around with your parents. Shepard enlisted at age 18, and depending on the background, you do get like a boost either in Paragon or in Renegade. Spacer gets a boost in Paragon. Shepard's mother's name is Hannah. Hannah Shepard. Then there's the Earthborn. This is where Shepard is an orphan. He's raised on the streets of Earth, different metropolises in Earth. He escapes the life of petty crime and underworld gangs by enlisting with the Alliance military when you turned 18. Earthborn gets that bonus in renegade points. Then comes the Colonist. Shepard was born on Mindwar, a small colony in the Attican Traverse. When he or she, I say he a lot just because my original Shepard is a he, so I have a tendency to call him a he. When he or she is 16, slavers raided Mindwar and killed his family. He was saved by an Alliance patrol, and then he enlisted in the military a few years afterwards. If you choose Colonist for your Shepard, you get a boost in Renegade and Paragon points. So it's kind of like the in-between. Now let's talk about the psychological profile. My character was a spacer, and I believe I chose Ruthless for my first character. Soul Survivor is the one where your pretty much all of your unit is slaughtered on a Akuz by a Thresher Maw, and you are the only one that survived. And you had to endure all these hardships during that time just to survive. I really like that psychological profile. I played that one with a previous Shepard. I never played Mass Effect 2 with this Shepard. I played only Mass Effect 1 with him. I really like the idea of the whole incorporating the Thresher Maw and not having it be like this enemy, you know. Some people kind of like the Colonist one with the raid of pirates attacking Mindwar and all that. Or slavers, I mean. That was Soul Survivor. War Hero, this is my least favorite, just because it's so, I don't know, your typical hero, you know, he could freaking take anything that you throw at him, and he's like superhuman or something like that. Early in Shepard's military career, he found himself facing an overwhelming enemy force. He risked his own life to save his fellow soldiers and defeated the enemy despite the impossible odds. His bravery earned him a bunch of medals and all this recognition and all that. So it's your typical war hero story. That's why it's my least favorite, just because it's so typical and kind of like we've heard of this already before a lot. The war hero almost single-handedly repelled an attack by Batarian slavers on Elysium. Oh, each of the psychological profiles also get bonuses in Paragon or Renegade. The Soul Survivor actually doesn't get any Paragon or Renegade. The War Hero gets a bonus in Paragon, and then there's Ruthless. Pretty much that Shepard follows just one rule: get the job done no matter what. He's been called cold, calculating, and brutal. His reputation for ruthless efficiency makes him his fellow soldiers wary of you. So it's that, you know, that type of soldier that wants to get everything done no matter what he has to do, and people around him are like kind of scared of him, respect him, but more because they're kind of intimidated by him. It says, but when failure is not an option, the military always goes to you first. The ruthless character sent 3/4 of his or her unit to its death and murdered surrendering Batarians on Torfin. Ruthless, of course, gets a bonus in Renegade points. It doesn't matter what class you choose, the story isn't really gonna change, just your experience. The only thing that does interact differently to you when it comes to your class is if you choose to be some kind of like a biotic or something like that. Caden will refer to that when he's talking to you on Normandy, because he's talking about his biotics and all that. So if you are also a biotic, he will there's a little variation to that dialogue, but very minor. So pretty much that's pretty much it. Nothing else changes. The background assignments, I'm really glad that they did these in Mass Effect 1. I kind of missed that type of assignment for Mass Effect 2, just because it really delved into Shepard, who Shepard was. And in Mass Effect 2, it wasn't really about Shepard, except for the beginning, you know, him coming back to life. But it was more about the squad members getting more crew. I think you guys could hear freaking Charlie in the background with his squeaky toy. But I really liked Mass Effect 1 because it delved a lot into Shepard. And I feel like Mass Effect 2 had such a great opportunity to do that same thing because what Shepard went through. I mean, coming back to life, going through that whole Lazarus project and all that, that had to be really hard on him after he came to. You know, after he had some downtime or something to think about it, that had to be really, really weird for him. I mean, I wish they would have gone into that in Mass Effect 2, but they didn't. Hopefully we see some of that in Mass Effect 3 because it's really weird for me for Shepard not to react to that situation. So let me go briefly over the background assignments. For Spacer, it's called Old Unhappy Far Off Things. This is the one where you talk to your mom. It's basically you meet this guy on the Citadel named Lieutenant Zabaleta, and he claims he says that he knows your mother. He basically looks like he's down on his luck. He's kind of like given up, and he asks you for money, and you're just like, you're like, this guy served with my mom, and he's already like asking you for money and stuff. Then you go back on the Normandy, and you call your mother on the SSV Kilimanjaro, and your mom says that he's suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder because of what happened on Mindwar, and your mom tells you to tell him to go to the Veterans Affairs office to get help. And you go and you talk to him, and he tells you that he's drinking to forget about the memories because he dreams about them. So you could have him go to the Veterans Affairs office to get help, but that's only a charm or an intimidate option. Shepard's mom, she is what is she? She served as the executive officer of the Alliance Dreadnought SSV Kilimanjaro. She also contacts you in Mass Effect 2 if you chose the Spacer background. She'll send you like a little email. She says, so I have to find out my child is alive, third hand, from the Alliance brass. And she says, where the hell have you been? I figure whatever you're doing is classified, likely part of your Spectre operations. Just stay safe out there and keep doing your mom proud and sneak something through a secure channel next time. Love, your mother, Captain Hannah. So that's pretty cool. I love that. I love that little touch. The Earthborn assignment is called Old Friends. And this one, you talk to this guy named Finch, and he pretty much reveals himself as a member of the 10th Street Reds. This is a gang that Shepard was once part of, and Finch tells you that another member of the gang, that named Kurt Wiseman, was arrested by a Turian for minor offense. So he pretty much wants Shepard to talk to this Turian to release this guy, and he says if you don't, I'll reveal that you were that you were in the gang, and that the Shepard's shady past, to try to give him like problems in the military and problems in his current life, right? Just revealing about that he was involved in petty crime in his youth. So you could go about this mission in several ways. You could either go Paragon, you could go Renegade, depends on what you do. And the Reds were actually affiliate. They had an anti-alien agenda. So if you decide not to help, if you say no, I'm not gonna help release this guy, Finch is like, I'm gonna freaking say that you were part of the Reds, and their people are gonna accuse you as being anti-alien and all that because you were involved with them. In Mass Effect 2, Finch sends you an email and he just contacts you. So he pretty much just says, good luck with what you're doing. Try to find whoever, because he's part of one of the colonies that got abducted by the collectors. So he just says, find out what's going on, and just kind of wishing you luck. And then the Colonist it's called I Remember Me. This one is pretty cool. It deals with another survivor from Mindwar, from where the colony where Shepard is from, if you're a colonist. Because how Mindwar got hit by slavers, and pretty much wiped out a lot of people. You meet this girl that is a survivor, and she's pretty much traumatized. And this guy, Lieutenant Gerard, is asking you for help, telling you, go help her out. You could go about a few ways with this. You go meet her. You could give her like the sedative, or you could tell her to take it. It depends on your renegade or paragon. If you choose renegade, you inject her with the sedative forcefully, and then if it's paragon, you convince her to take these sedative pills to help her. And then in Mass Effect 2, this girl also sends you an email. So depending, that's the only way that they tied this whole part to Mass Effect 1, this whole Shepard background to Mass Effect of Mass Effect 1. They tied it to Mass Effect 2 by the main players of these missions send you emails in Mass Effect 2.